gentleman out in California, um, talking about an assembly bill that gives anybody the right, anybody,
or older,
to come
completes items
and take your children.
inclusive, and signs
And that's coming to a town near
to
you.
enroll a minor in school
Just
and consent to school-related medical care on behalf of the minor. So this bill gives someone who meets the criteria that I'm going to lay out in just a moment the ability to transfer a child, enroll a child in school, and authorize medical care for that child. It says a caregiver who is a relative or non-relative extended family member has the same rights to authorize medical care and dental care for the minor under Section 2353 of the Probate Code. So that's a relative or non-minor. The medical care authorized by this caregiver, who is a relative or non-relative extended family member, may include mental health treatment. What sort of mental health treatment are we giving these kids? This raises the specter of the gender issue. This language here is very dangerous. It's not just school-related medical care. It is a full range of medical care.
Yeah, like gender transition.
Like nothing is working. That was my story too. Until I found a natural protocol that finally brought me peace, control, and
go down here to who we are authorizing to play these roles. For purposes of this section, the following terms shall have meanings. Person is any individual. Oh, wait. Corporation, partnership, association, the state, city, county, zip code, city or county, or any public entity or governmental subdivision.
Imagine
or
that.
Any other legal entity. Boy, a person is very broadly defined here. Non-relative, extended family member. So you would think that non-relative, but they're a member of the family? Well, what does that mean? It means any adult caregiver who has an established familial or mentoring relationship with the child, or who has an established familial relationship with a relative of the child. So, but back up here. It means any caregiver, and again, that's just a term of like, I'm going to care for this person. That's someone saying, hey, I'm going to be the caregiver. That's all you have to do is say, I'm a caregiver. I'm going to provide care.
Yeah, anybody can do that.
Who has a familial relationship. Okay, we can probably say, okay, if you're a family member, all right, at least we're in the ballpark. But what is this? Or mentoring relationship. What is a mentoring relationship? Very broadly defined. That's any stranger could say, I'm mentoring this person. What's the definition of grooming? Just asking. As an example.
Grooming? Taking a brush.
This is not
brushing an animal.
Law that you should just say, oh, let's accept
That's
the
what
author's
grooming is to me.
Claims and goals. The language in this law is so vacuous, so ill-defined,
yep,
as to create great risk for abuse.
Yep.
And that's why when the media says, oh, this isn't true.
All types
this is about
of abuse.
The undocumented being deported, and then suddenly we have to go and find a way to care for these children. First and foremost, ICE is not just randomly taking families and separating them. The ICE has been very clear about focusing on criminals, but also making sure that they understand what is the impact of their family members and children involved. Secondly, this is not just a bill applying to the undocumented. It applies to everybody. Third, the people that we're empowering to make these very sensitive decisions for minors, with or without parental involvement. There is no parental consent here. It could be just some stranger who says, oh, I have a mentoring relationship with this child. I'll mentor them. Oh, this is really bad legislation.
Yep, they'll be in Kentucky next.
Relative is defined pretty normally. And then it says school-related medical care. But up here, this provision
parental rights is already under attack
seems to indicate
when it comes to schooling.
That there's more than just school-related medical care that's involved here. The first sentence relates to school-related medical care. But the next two sentences,
listen to how it's worded,
do not relate just to school-related medical care. I'm giving you the actual text of the law because literally the proponents of this law have been out there lying through their teeth, saying that people raising concerns about strangers taking custody are lying or misreading. Anyone who has a mentoring relationship, who claims, by the way, it's a claim to have a mentoring relationship, can say, oh, I fall under this law. I can now sign this piece of paper.
And you don't have to have any proof of that. You can just say.
And when they say it's just school-related medical care, the language is not specifying that. It's much broader than that. Mm-hmm. By the way, another thing in this bill that's a problem is the bill basically muzzles any sort of state or school or local or federal supported education program from tracking or disclosing citizenship status. Now, people say, well, that's to protect the undocumented. First and foremost, we have a process in this country for who stays and who goes. And that's a process that's transparent, it's accountable. But at the very least, whether you agree or disagree with that process, we should have the truth. We should have information. The Democrats, by passing this bill, want to make it harder for you to know how many undocumented we have in schools. Mm. How many undocumented individuals are in California? Mm. It's not just to thwart
at least 1 million.
It is to basically black
realistically
out any knowledge or information going out there to the general public as to how big our undocumented immigration issue is, non-citizenship issue is here in the state of California. So that's another problem with this bill. I mean, everything about this bill is problematic. But I wanted to throw that one in because that also is a substantial change in law that would warrant a no vote on Assembly Bill 497. Now, I voted against this bill on the floor, as did many of my Republican colleagues. So it passed with 62 votes in the affirmative on the Assembly floor early in June. I was one of the 7 no votes. Here I am. No vote: Davies, DeMaio, Dixon, Ellis, Gallagher, Patterson, and Sanchez. This bill now is in the Senate. It would then have to come back, if amended, to the Assembly for final ratification. I am urging my colleagues to read the damn bill. And
use your common sense
when this bill comes back. I hope the senators vote no. I'm urging the Senate to vote no when it goes to the floor. I'm hoping that you, the general public, educate your friends and family so they know what's going on with Assembly Bill 495. And working together, we can stop this. We're also going to make this a key vote at Reform California on our voter guide. And we're going to target members who vote for this in target seats to make this an election issue. And hopefully...
Yeah. Well, that's a very interesting situation out there in California. And don't think that it can't come here. Because, everything's falling apart. People's falling apart. There's no more common sense, and the children are the ones that are at stake. They're the ones that's going to suffer like they're already suffering. You just don't make it worse. If you've watched this video, just comment. Give me your thoughts if you want. What do you think? What if it comes to Kentucky or your state where they wanted to pass a bill like that and have just anybody off the street come in and take your child away? Just give me your thoughts on that. everybody have a good evening and stay safe and peaceful.